The reason you can't seem to get a stop right now in Madden 26 probably stems to the fact that you're calling bad plays, or worse, you're in the wrong defensive playbook. But don't worry, because by the end of this video, I'm going to break down the top 3 defensive playbooks you need to be using, and they're guaranteed to turn you into that lockdown defender that you've always wanted. Let's jump right into it. Alright, first we need to break down the defense that all the pro players are using right now, and there's a reason for it. Let me show you. Alright, so we're here in game to show this blitz off because this particular blitz is just a little bit better in game than it is in practice mode, but we're going to come into cover 4 quarters. Alright, we are going to take this linebacker right here, alright, and you're going to drag him over. Now, you're going to notice how he's going to run back over there. What you have to do is bump him into this player to get him to stay. Alright, once you bump him, then he stays. He's going to loop around in that A gap, and you just need to get the attention of this left guard right here. Alright, so they're going to take the snap. We're going to get the attention of the guard, and you're going to honestly see how that time, I mean, no blitz is going to be 100%, but the great thing about this particular play is that we have great coverage on the back end. You have to remember, this is only a 4-man rush, and so this is just really great pressure that you're able to get. You know, he's going to loop around this gap. I'm going to run it again because I do believe that he should do a little bit better. I don't know why he like stuttered here, but you're able to see how, you know, we have good defense on the back end because again, we're in match. This is taken away, their little S post is taken away, this, you know, in out route's taken away, right? You just have to have a good user over the middle, something I wasn't necessarily doing there as I'm showing you the blitz. We're going to come back into cover 4 quarters, and I'm going to have them call another play right here. Again, I'm set up the same way, drag this man over and then bump him, alright, just like that, so now he stays. Then I'm going to pass through my defense and try to get the attention of this guard over here. Alright, so boom, we're going to take it. I mean, this, for some reason, this guy's just stuttering as he's looping around. That's really not supposed to happen. You put a different player here, he's just supposed to run straight through, but you're able to see how problematic this can be, because essentially, if they tried to step up in the pocket, which is what a lot of really good offensive players want to do, right, you're going to see how they don't have any room to step up because the pocket's being collapsed. No one touches this guy, right? This double team happens, the left guard has to come across the block, this guy, right? And then he's just easily able to shed him. So again, you have great coverage on the back end, but it's like you're able to get pretty quick pressure right here just because of the way that this is kind of set up. We're going to run it one more time here. Maybe we can get this guy to loop in right through the A gap, but again, you're going to move him over like that. Then you're going to bump him into that, you know, guard, or excuse me, into that linebacker. And so boom, we go to take this snap. You're going to see how, again, we're able to play great defense. Now, having a premier pass rusher like Josh Allen is going to help you as well because organic sheds are great. But it's like when you're able to get pressure from only sending 4, you're able to see we loop around this line, and then, you know, we are able to, you know, get after the quarterback. A really great and unique B-gap blitz that you're able to use. And again, you have better players. I don't know. I mean, this guy really isn't doing the job as well as I would like. I've seen some better loops, but there's a reason why a lot of the pro players are running dime 3-2, and it's because of this loop blitz. Alright, and before I show you the last 2 defensive playbooks that you need to be using, I wanted to remind you to go down below and subscribe. I break down the best playbooks in the game and defensive tips every single day on Madden 26, and you're not going to want to miss out. Let's jump right back into it. Alright, this next defensive playbook is another one that's super common, and there's a reason for it because it has a bunch of really great defensive formations. Let me show you the Vikings. Alright, so when we come into the Vikings playbook, what you want to make sure you're doing is you have a defensive motion response disabled if you want to be running zone coverage, or you're going to put your curl flats on 5, safety depth on close, safety width on pinch right here, alright? So we're going to be in 3-3 odd, and we're going to be calling overload 3 press, alright? So I've talked about this many times. This is actually in my Vikings defensive ebook, more on how you can get that for a huge discount later. But what we're going to do is we're going to set it up just like this, and we're going to put pace, or we're going to user pace, and you're going to notice one thing in particular right here. You're going to be blitzing them off the right side. Their running back is on the left side, all right? And so whenever you can get a slot corner blitz off the non-running back side, that's going to be very problematic for the offensive line. So we're actually going to have them send 5 out here using base protection, but you're just going to get the attention of that guard, and you can just see how, once again, you have really quick pressure. You're able to defend the sideline really well, and then you're able to just use her over the middle of the field. Again, I'm never going to be somebody who promises you guys a false dream and tells you that a blitz is going to work every time. There's going to be times where random chipping, random blocking is going to happen, and it's not going to be as good. Bunch is actually one of the best formations to be able to pick up blitzes in this game, just because you see how there's 3 wide receivers lined up over my slot corner, which makes it easy for him to get bumped, all right? We're going to go through it again right here, try to get the attention of that guy, and you can really see how fast his pressure is going to be because you're confusing one of the offensive linemen. Essentially, you're taking him out of the play or making it very hard for him to actually react. See how 63 is having to move down and inside to worry about my user when I'm never really rushing. And then what does this do? It allows for this man to get off the ball a lot sooner and just push this man into the quarterback. Now, I will tell you that a lot of the time as well, this slot corner is just going to be able to come in free. Last 2 plays, he hasn't really done that. But if you can get this man right here, actually 61, if you can get him to move outside, like more to the right in this case, so that he can engage with 71, then you create a 2-on-1 with 71 where he can only block one person. Right here, he comes down, and so that kind of makes it a little bit easier for the line. But regardless, you see how we're able to pretty, easily push our way into the quarterback, all right? We're going to come here, block the running back. Once again, have base protection so you can see. Another key thing with this coverage, make sure that you're putting your top safety in a deep half. So you're running a cover 3 cloud in this case so that you're not getting beat up the seam, all right? So we're going to pass commit our defense, all right? We're going to take this snap, we're going to move this man inside. And you can see how that's kind of what I'm talking about, where you're able to get these guys to come upfield a lot sooner. And the pressure, it's going to be the same type of pressure at the same rate, regardless if they want to block their running back or they want to send 5 out, because again, you see it's the same concept. We get the attention of 63, all right, and so then we're able to create this 2-on-1. This is what I'm talking about, where you're going to force 71 to either block this defensive end or block this slot corner who's going to come in free off the edge, all right? And so then that would have to force someone else to come over and block, and then you see that right there where he takes a poor angle, and then we're able to get the quarterback on the ground. So over the 3 press, you can see how it just creates a lot of confusion for the offensive line because it's an overload blitz. You're only really sending 5, and even if they block 6, you're still going to be able to get pressure. But I'm not done with this Vikings playbook. Because if we come into nickel 3-3 cub, right, we're going to call Mike blitz 0, all right? We're going to shift our D-line to the left here in this case. This particular blitz setup, I've been labbing this. It works a lot better when you shift to the left, although you could technically shift to the right, all right? But I would shift to the left. I would drop my defensive end into a curl flat right here. And so then you have complete freedom with your coverage. So if you want to run man coverage, right, you want to run zone coverage, you can do whatever you want. But you're going to drop this man into a curl flat, right? And then you're going to stand right here over this center, right? About 3 or 4 yards behind him, all right? And so essentially when they take the snap, you're going to press your D-pad to the right so that you can D-pad switch stick onto this curl flat. And then that's going to create a 3-on-4 numbers advantage for you on the left side, or really a 3-on-2. But anyway, you're going to see we're going to take the snap, D-pad, switch stick, and you're going to see that time they even had a check and release on the field. So the running back was technically supposed to pick that guy up off the edge, in which it was 6-on-4. Right, or excuse me, 6-on-5, but you can see how in this particular case, these two 64 never recognizes this, so 64 and 63 go to double team. This is a huge problem, right? 64 and 63 go to double team, 71's blocking nobody because the man that he was supposed to be blocking dropped out into a zone, right? And so then these two obviously double team, so that forces the running back to step up to block the mic, and then the outside linebacker on the weak side, the Will, is able to come in free. So that was a 5-man rush against a 6-man protection, and we get a guy to come in completely free. And then also, like, our man is going to push his way into the quarterback. So we'll run it one more time. Again, you can set up a different coverage behind this if you want, right? You can set up more of a cover 3 cloud, like we were talking about earlier, but you're going to see how, boom, once again, immediately D-pad switch stick, and it's the same thing. We're going to be able to get that instant pressure off of that left side because we're overloading. We're creating a numbers advantage over there, and we're making it very tough for the line. So again, you see it again, where these guys, they turn outside to double team for some reason, and then he's blocking nobody, right? And so then they just never even recognize 70s blocking nobody. Like, this is terrible protection by them, all right? So that's just another blitz here, again, from the Vikings playbook, nickel 3-3 cub that you can utilize. Why it's good? Because a lot of blitzing in this game is being able to overload one side of the line and force them to start using pass protection, which very newer players or sometimes the advanced players might struggle to do. All right, the best part about that Vikings defense is it goes way beyond the two formations that I just showed you. 3-3 cub and 3-3 odd are great, but being able to add 3-4 odd, 4-3 even 6-1, some of the dime stuff that they have, which is covered in my defensive ebook, the link down below in the pinned comment. You can use code WELCOME to get 20% off, but it's going to absolutely transform your defense, and it's really a great purchase. I can't wait to help you out on defense. All right, that last defensive playbook I'm about to show you is one you've probably never seen before because no one really uses it, and that actually plays to its advantage. Let me show you the Falcons defense. Alright, so again, I just told you that the Falcons defense is one that's very unique and one that you certainly should take a look at, and it all starts with their 3-4 stuff. I know a lot of you guys might play like CFM or some of these modes where you don't have a whole bunch of safeties, so your personnel relies a little bit more on these bigger fronts like 3-4. So we're going to come in at 3-4 odd, and again, they have a really great blitz that I really like. So what you're going to do is you can probably guess how we're going to be blitzing. We're going to be overloading one side. So we're going to shift our D-line to the right here. In this case, we're going to blitz this inside linebacker, and now you can see how this is going to be another 5-man blitz. All right. Honestly, if you wanted to drop this wide defensive tackle into a zone, you could, but we're already dropping another guy, so we really are fine. Like if we wanted to run a coverage like this, where we're just running a cover 3 cloud again, we could do that, protect the middle of the field a little bit better. But here's the bottom line: you want to be getting the attention of the center. So I'm going to call it two different ways. You can either turbo engage, where you're going to guarantee get his attention, or you can like loop down, right? So I'm about to show you what I mean, where you're just going to try to stand over him, get his attention, and you see how we fly in completely free. A 5-man blitz against a 5-man protection, right? If you're on offense, I'm very frustrated that, this happened, because again, this shouldn't happen, right? We have the same amount of people that they're blocking, right? And you can see why does this happen, because you're able to get the attention of one of the linemen, all right? You would preferably like to get the attention of the center, right? Number 78, that would make this as good as possible, but you can still see how it works because I get the attention of number 74. He's blocking air, right? And so that forces this guy to block him, 76 to block 54, and then he's blocking this guy, right? And so then we're able to come in completely free. You also see this double team occurs again, because number 74 isn't blocking anyone. Guys, the name of the game here in Madden 26, as far as getting the quarterback on the ground, is forcing these linemen into situations they don't want to be in by literally just getting their attention. You're still getting back into coverage with your user to defend an angle route, to defend a drag, to defend a tight end seam, right? So it's like you're not really sacrificing anything. So again, you're just going to shift your D-line to the right here so that you can overload that right side. You're going to pass commit your defense, especially if you know a pass is coming, to make your blitzes a little bit better, a little bit cleaner. But again, stand right here over the center, and you're trying to get the attention of one of the linemen. Now, the other way that you can do this is you're going to press D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down. So essentially, you're just going to ram right into the center, and it's going to be even better for you, a little bit easier for you too. So now you see how that same kind of pressure happens, or that immediate pressure happens, but we're still able to get back into coverage. Again, this helps a lot more if they're going to block their running back, because when they block their running back, like your margin for error with blitzing is a lot less, right? But you're able to see I get the attention of 78. It allows the defensive tackle to run in free momentarily. Now, credit to 74 this time. He picked him up, but my defensive tackle was able to get this far upfield before he gets blocked, right? That's a problem if you're on offense. Not to mention, we're still able to come in free. And the best part about this, when you turbo engage and spam A or X after the snap, you're back into coverage, just like I was in the last play, to be able to defend Aaron Jones, to be able to defend their drag route to, Jefferson across the field, right? So this is really the perfect defense and the perfect setup, because you still have versatility. When we think about a 3-4 defense, you normally think about having no slot corners, right? And so you can't really adjust the same, but as long as you have adequate personnel, you can use quick adjustments to set up the same defenses, the same types of shells, and then just overload blitz them off of one side, just like this, and you're going to be screaming after the quarterback. And obviously the Falcons playbook has more defensive formations that are really good, like 4-3, even 6-1. You saw Astro utilize this, in the MCS Madden Bowl, but you're able to see single mug, double mug. Their nickel is kind of suspect here, but they do have dime 2-3 from, dime, right? They have 3-5 penny, which is another slept on defensive formation. So overall, the Falcons playbook, a secret one that no one's talking about that you should probably take a look at. Alright, if you enjoyed that breakdown of the top 3 defensive playbooks or want to learn more about how to set up all of these defenses, make sure you subscribe, because again, I break down tips like this on defense in Madden 26 every single day, and you're not going to want to miss out on any of them. But if you're still struggling on defense in Madden 26, I want to personally work with you one-on-one to change that. So you can go to the link down below in the pinned comment. Check out my Vikings defense ebook, where I break down step-by-step how I'm setting up all these defenses. I can't wait to help you out on defense.